Good afternoon, Peter. How are we today?
Good.
So, Peter, I looked through some of your history. I know you and your brothers lived with a single mom. What was that like? Was the experience bad?
Yes.
I see. What was your mother like? What made her bad?
I never saw her. And when I did, she was either drunk or she was...
She was what? Peter, she was what? Well, recently I've been taking up making little crafts in my basement. I know you've been really stressed lately. Perhaps taking up a new hobby like that could work to help relieve that stress.
I hate dark basements.
Well, you don't have to do it in a basement. You've just got to take up a hobby to help yourself relax. Perhaps wood carving?
Carving?
Yeah, or baking. My brother is really into it. He says it helps him deal with stress.
Maybe that could help.
Good afternoon, Peter. Would you like a candy?
No thanks. Those are 23 calories apiece.
Okay. So, we talked the other day about your mom and your childhood. Can you please tell me a bit more about your mom?
She... hated me.
Did she now? Why did she hate you?
She always ignored me. Favored my youngest brother. But she really started hating me when I was 13. And she caught me kissing...
Kissing who? Peter, who were you kissing?
another boy. Behind an old shed.
So, are you...
No, I'm not.
Peter, breathe.
I'm not.
It's okay.
interesting. All alone, in the woods, in the darkness, just a little bit of music. Thought I would be shit scared, but it all went well.
For millions of years, our world has seen all manner of creatures adapt and overcome obstacles in order to survive. Every creature you see around you is constantly changing with the world, evolving to survive any pressures or needs that are thrown at it. And just like everything else, we too must adapt and overcome our own obstacles in order to survive. As you may know, monsters have left their original habitats and have moved west towards populated areas, resulting in a significant increase of monster-human conflict across the continent. Such conflicts have always been present in our history, but recently the rate of reports have drastically increased. Thus, this program will serve as the Guild's direct guide for people in need and help you understand what you should and shouldn't do in the event of a monster encounter, as well as give some insight on how these creatures function. Section 1. What is a monster? Before we can begin learning about the safety precautions needed, we must understand what a monster is and what types you may be dealing with. Contrary to the term, monsters are not like those that you hear of within fairy tale stories. These magnificent creatures have existed for far longer than we have, but due to civilization's expansion they have unfortunately lost a significant amount of their homes, and so are simply trying to find their way out of these enclosed areas in order to expand their territories, much like us. We must also remind you that a primary focus of the Guild is to stay in balance with nature, rather than damage or destroy it. As the majority of these creatures don't actively want to hurt us, in fact, most incidents involving monster attacks are either territorial or completely accidental. Some, however, do intentionally attack humans. However, these instances are relatively uncommon, generally being caused by only a handful of species that see humans as another prey option, rather than hunting humans specifically. Many species will in fact ignore us, as due to their greater sizes, many monsters are almost entirely uninterested in humans and wyverians. But that does not mean they are safe to be around, as every monster can be a potential threat to you. And there are of course some species that are well known to be aggressive to all living things as well. Monsters on the most basic level are split into two categories, large monsters and small monsters. Designations to either group are of course determined by the average size of the species, though certain species can and do change from a small monster to a large monster depending on their life cycle. Both groups contain a variety of monster classifications within them. These include but are not limited to flying wyverns, leviathans, and fanged beasts. Designations to these classifications are determined by many factors. This program specifically will cover the following types of monsters: fanged wyverns, bird wyverns, piscine wyverns, brute wyverns. And lastly, flying wyverns. Please insert the